I need to. Hello, everyone. I just wanted to hop on live really quick. Just really quick. I say that all the time and then. Hello. We're going to be talking about manifesting love today. Hi. Hi, Sage. We're going to be talking about manifesting love. If y'all hear like noise, I'm sitting outside. So, yeah. I created a class, and hello, manifesting love in my bank account, right? So what happened? So I created something, and it led me to get on live to talk about it. We think we are manifesting specific people when we are actually manifesting being in union back with ourselves, or being in union with ourselves, with remembering ourselves as source. I always talk about this book called A Return to Love. I love that book. And how the author talks about, it's based on like Sufism, and the author talks about how the love that we are seeking is divine love. Yes, I'm aromantic and always say this. People don't want relationships. They want the parts they're missing in themselves. Exactly. And that's something I had to discover myself on my own journey. Okay. It's so funny because I used to try to practice self-love. I used to practice loving myself as source. I mean, not as source, as the limited version of myself, or the human character, whatever you want to call it, the ego. I used to try to love myself from there, right? And it was hard. It was hard to love myself from there because I was trying to always love myself. But then I remember myself as source, and I naturally love myself. I naturally love myself because I know that I'm love. I know that I am the source of love. Okay. And something that I've discovered, is that the more we try to manifest love, I think I know he said this in one of his lectures. Which one was it? Power. It was from his lecture, Power. And he said the loveless do not manifest love. Or the loveless don't manifest love. The loveless does not manifest love. Only the lovely. We become more irresistible the more we stand in our identity as source. And I am a witness. I'm a witness here. Okay. We become way more irresistible, way more attractive. Not only will your SP want you, but multiple SPs. I'm not even just talking about romantically. Everyone desires you. Everyone desires to be around you once you stand in your identity as source. And sometimes, this is what I've noticed. Sometimes people don't really understand why they're so drawn to you. Can you elaborate on staying as the identity as source? Okay, so what I mean by that is thinking, living, perceiving as God. That's what I mean. So if you notice, okay, this is, and I talk a lot about this in my new masterclass, the specific person secrets. And it has like a bonus PDF in there. Okay. I talk about the importance of being aware. Just being aware. Okay. And if you are aware, because this is when I talk to people who are manifesting a specific person, right? Because when you do nothing imperfect, nothing's out of, exactly. What I notice is people will say, oh, my specific person changed. They started acting differently towards me. I don't know, because I was affirming for this and that and this and that. And I say, like, okay, what stories were showing up in that moment? That'll tell you. Like who you were being in the moment. Okay. Because sometimes we can do things like blow up their phones, send off text messages, especially if we are experiencing a story, right? But just become aware of the story. And I'm getting to the point on how to stay in that identity as source. Just notice the stories and then ask yourself, if you notice like it's bringing up a feeling of fear within you, just notice it and then ask yourself, how would I interpret this story as source? And I'm not just telling you guys to just ask this question, like literally, or I'm not just telling you guys this question, literally ask yourself that question. That's what it means to stand in that identity, to live in that identity. When you start asking yourself, when you pause, when you get still and perceive as God. If you're noticing a circumstance showing up in your reality that you do not like, that is unfavorable to you, okay, notice it. Notice what it's bringing up and then perceive as God. How would I perceive that circumstance as God? I want my SP to text me first. Is that all you want, is a text? What's the right way to visualize without highlighting the difference between 3 and 4D? What's the right way to visualize without... Okay, so there's no right way to visualize. I talk a lot about this in my work. So when you start identifying as source, you can ask yourself, I don't know what you're trying to visualize in your reality, okay? But this is one of my questions in my specific person secrets masterclass. And one of the embodiment questions that I ask is, what is it like to be chosen in my ideal relationship as source? And when I ask myself those questions, a scene automatically shows up. I don't have to force it. I don't have to fight for it to okay, let me put this in the scene. Let me do this. No, none of that. Once you start asking yourself that, what is that like to experience that as source? Because we are awareness. We are source, expressing ourselves through the human character. You are source first. Okay. So, I just want to put that out there, that my classes aren't like a how-to or a step-by-step guide. It's an opportunity to explore your consciousness. Okay. So you don't really have to force a visualization, force a scene, it just automatically downloads within you when you imagine that source, or when you just ask yourself what is it like? Because here's the thing, in Neville's work, you always hear him say, what would it be like if what would the feeling be like if it were true? What would it imply that I already have it? He's not saying that shit for he's not saying it for, I cannot curse on here. He's not saying it for shit and giggles. It's literally a way for you to immerse yourself in your imagination. Okay. Oh boy, I got you, SP. So yeah. What are the signs that your manifestation is around the corner? What are the signs? I see everything as a sign. I add meaning to everything. Oh, that means I'm getting what I want. Oh, that means I'm getting what I want. I don't care if it's small or big. It don't even have to make sense. Oh, that means I'm getting what I want. Okay. Okay, so hold on, wait. But I just want to add this in here, like even angel numbers, you add meaning to that. Okay? I'm trying to revise from a God's perspective. Do you think it's possible to choose differently now? Yes. Yes, it is. Do you think it's possible? As God, do you think it's possible? I was thinking about vacationing in Italy, and I heard Italy being mentioned on the radio. That's perfect. See, as long as you continue to add meaning, right? A lot of us, when we are still attached to the human character or identifying as the human character instead of God as source, right? When we identify as the limited self, we often add meaning from like, oh, this means it's still not here yet. This means, okay, this was small. This means it's not here yet, right? If you're manifesting money, you see a penny on the ground or a dime. Most people from lack will be like, this is just a penny, or this is just $1. Up, this means I have more on its way to me, right? So you get to add meaning, and you get to add the most delicious meaning you want to add. I forgive my younger self and embrace a reality for the collective where it never happened. Yeah. Even things that you may think about that like make you cringe, you can just tell yourself like, I'm at peace with that. That doesn't have power over me. What would the feeling be like to experience as source? Was that the question? Yes. Yes, that's the question. And just literally sit there and ask yourself that. And what comes up? What comes up? What feeling comes up? What words come up? Rest there. So seeing pictures of my SP, I could say this man loves me and feel happy having him next to me. Yeah, you can, you can say that about, you can say that about your SP. But you don't have to try to feel, happy having him next to you, if you get what I'm saying. Just enjoy. What would it be like to experience being whatever it is that you want to experience in your ideal relationship, whether that's you, like, it's limitless. Okay, chosen, respected, valued, cherished, highly revered, appreciated, whatever it is, worshipped. What would it be like to experience that as source in my ideal? What would it be like to experience that in my ideal relationship as source? If I wanted to change my looks, how would that work? Same thing applies. I won't share like affirmations because this is what I believe. Okay. Your declarations, right? They're all different for every person, for each person, right? So I talk about how, like, once I stopped stressing about money. Okay. I used to be someone that stressed about money a lot. And I stopped stressing about money. And I don't remember what question I asked myself, but what came up was money is always pouring into my life. Okay. I had never heard that from anywhere else. Never heard that from anywhere else. Money is always pouring into my life. And I just sat with that. Like, this feels good. And boom. So it's just something that I say to myself, but it's not like something money is always pouring into my life. Money is always pouring into my life, right? I don't do that. It's just like, it's a knowing. Like, oh, money is always pouring into my life. So, with looks, what would it be like to, whatever it is that you want to change? I don't know what you want to change, right? You want a snatched jawline. Okay, what would it be like to have a snatched jawline as source? Or, and if if thoughts are coming up, but I look like this, but I look like that, but genetically, no, this is what it is now. This is what it is. So whatever you desire, just embody that it is true and just move like that. Yep. Yes, yes, yes. Once you do that, listen, I'm telling you, once you start identifying as God, not this character, as God, hold on. You already have it. From here, you just already have it. That's why I say ask those questions, right? Immerse yourself into your imagination. The experience of what it's like. Okay? Once you start asking those questions, you immediately receive visions. Your inner conversations automatically change from there. This is what it is now. Yeah. Sorry, you guys. I got quiet. I feel like I ruined my reality if I affirm that everything is resolved. Will it fix? You're God, so what do you mean? Like you said, actually, never mind, it's fixed. I'm God. Exactly. Hi, what are some things we can do to help us identify as God? Okay, so I want to get this clear. Being God is not a feeling. It's not a feeling. It's not something that you're just like, it's not something that you look for proof, right? It's none of that. Okay, because I know a lot of people, and I talk about this in my masterclass, right? My SP Secrets masterclass. How people will ask like, oh, but how do I know that I'm God? How do I understand that I'm God, right? But this has occurred in my life and I don't believe that I'm God, right? So people are constantly looking for proof and a feeling to know that they're God. It's not a feeling. It's not something that you just, I am source. I am all that is. I am God. I am God. That is the key. That is what I share. That is what I teach. That is the key ingredient. I didn't start understanding Neville's work until I claim myself as source, as I am, as all that is. That's when I understood, like, oh, I skipped past all of this in his work because I wanted a technique. You don't need a technique. You're God. You don't need a technique. Okay. What is hard to believe? If everyone else is God too and someone feels attached to me, what do I affirm for them? What do you mean? Yeah, it's not a feeling but a knowing, like how I just know my name. Yeah, exactly. Just, I am source, I am all that is. I am God. And perceive from there. That is why the questions that I shared earlier previously, it helps you deepen your embodiment as God, as being source. Because I made someone lose a third party, and just made me think, like, what if someone does that for me? They don't. You're God. You have power in your reality. No one else can do it to you. No one else can do it to you. Do you guys have any more questions? But yeah, you are love. So how would you explain that? Explain what? Okay, so you cannot make a third party disappear. The only thing you can do is focus on yourself. Okay, so it seems like you're focusing just like on other things other than just like being source. Okay, so that's my thing here. I don't teach you how to get an SP. I don't teach, like, what I'm going to share is I'm always going to bring you back to yourself. Okay, I wake up anxious on what to do about money, even though I declare and go about my day. All right, so the anxiousness is just a symptom of where, like, where the stores your mind is moving into. Okay, that's anxiousness is just a symptom of that. So be aware of those stories. Say it out loud if you need to. Write them down. Then ask yourself, how would I perceive those stories as God? Notice the words that come up. 9 times out of 10 is going to be something comforting in a way where, like, the anxiousness will drop immediately. And if it comes back up, how would I perceive these thoughts as God? How would I interpret these stories as God? Okay. While being God, is it best to stay off of? Yes, it's best to stay off your specific person's Instagram. You don't if you're looking at their page from that limited human self, like, am I good enough? Do they want me? Are they going to choose me? Then stay off of there, because it's just going to keep leading you into more and more stories. And then next thing you know, you're there. Okay. Instead of just focusing on being God. Just focus on being God. Do you listen to frequency music? No, not anymore. My head, the story lingers that I don't have enough. Right. So, okay, so that's just a story your mind is telling you, okay? But how will you interpret that as God? So it's okay to assign meaning to things, like when I heard Italy over the radio after for me. Yes. I'm there on vacation. I can say, yeah, we go to Italy for vacations all the time. Remove awareness. Will you place your awareness on that source? Exactly. Yes, don't even think about anyone else but yourself and what you want to experience as God. How did you come to realize this information? Because I've always, hold on. Okay, hi Cookie. Okay, so I've been in the lot, like, I've been learning about spirituality for forever, okay? And it wasn't until I heard another coach say, like, your source. Like, I was hearing, like, one or two coaches say like, you're just I am. You are I am. You are source. And so I'm like, okay, I am source. I am source. I am source. And from there, that's when everything started to click for me. And then I remember myself as God, and then manifesting became so much more easier. Life became easier. Hi, Cookie. I'm doing great. How are you? Oh, wait. Hold on. I need to practice. Practice what? Miss H, what do you need to practice? It's getting cold. It's getting cold, you guys. The new year. Well, I wouldn't even say the new year because it really don't exist. That's another thing. I know a lot of people. I saw some people, like, I saw videos of people like adding meaning, like, you didn't did you accomplish anything this year? And da 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 da. And a lot of people who feel that way will take that information and just like feel like crap about themselves. And it's like, you can be a different person like now. You don't have to wait on you don't have to wait on a new year, because I don't want to get banned or anything on here. But if I do, I'm going to YouTube. Remembering that I am source, because I be forgetting. Yeah. Yes. Claim yourself as source and live from there. Was there a manifestation you had that confirmed this? How long did that take? Confirm what? That I'm source, or what? Does it take time to finally understand that I am source? Like, I get it, but I don't know. Okay, so is it a gut feeling that, okay, wait. So does it take time to finally understand that I am source? No, it doesn't. You just become it. And you become it by claiming yourself as source, as all that is, remembering, and deciding from there, adding meaning to your circumstances. Like, how would I perceive? This is how you embody being God. By asking yourself, okay, how would I perceive this circumstance as God? Like, literally ask yourself that. Stories showing up in your awareness that feels like crap, right? That make you feel like crap. How would notice the stories? How would I perceive these stories as God? Okay. I talk about this in a lot of, like, my latest work. Okay. How when I spend money, before I just get still, before I just like make the decision to spend the money, I ask like, what would not what would I, but would I purchase this as source? And 9 times out of 10, it's yes. And then if I notice like money stories coming up, like, oh my gosh, but what if this is going to be my last? What if I don't, receive any more, blah, 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 blah. I ask myself, because those things show up. I ask myself, how would I perceive those stories as source? 9 times out of 10, what shows up is, oh, more money is on its way. There's nothing for me to worry about. Money is always pouring into my life. Okay. So because this is a, not aspect, but okay, because I talk about this in my Specific Person Secrets Masterclass. Okay. How we experience abandonment from others when we abandon ourselves. And I don't mean your limited human form. I mean you as God, right? We have amnesia when we are born. Okay. We forget that we are God. And also the way we are conditioned, we're not taught that we are God. School doesn't teach you that you are God. Church does not teach you that you are God. None of those things teach you that you are God. Okay? It's almost as if like you've always been God. You've always been God, but you forget. Okay? So it's like building a relationship with yourself. It's building a relationship with you. Okay? And I say, like, in my masterclass, that we experience abandonment from other people when we abandon ourselves. The more, like, okay, the more I didn't know I was source back then, the more I abandoned myself constantly, over and over again, right? But as source, I don't abandon myself. I naturally prioritize myself and put myself first. Okay? So, I did how do you say it? I don't know how to say, I don't want to pronounce it wrong. But it's all about, you can claim yourself as source, but it's what you do throughout your day. Are you noticing? Are you aware of your stories? Okay. Are you perceiving as God? Are you just immediately reacting to circumstances, or are you observing and then remembering you are God? Observing as God. A shitty circumstance pop up. Okay. I can notice it. I can sit with it. How would I perceive it as God? So, hope that answers your question. Elia, is it a gut feeling that helps you make decisions? It's just not a feeling, it's a knowing. Do you have a regular job? No. I don't know about being God. I like being myself. Why are you here? Why are you here? I manifested my SP almost instantly yesterday, but they ain't showing up the way I would like to. Same pattern as always. Take your focus off of them. Y'all, oh my gosh. Because this masterclass, this specific person, Secrets Masterclass, is so good, right? Because I talk about how, like, even if you're noticing, I don't want to keep cursing on here, but if you're noticing shitty behavior from your SP, or just behavior you don't want to deal with, you don't have to deal with it. Take your focus off of them. You don't even have to talk to them. Take your focus off of them. And that does not mean they're going to forget about you. They're going to be like wondering, what are you doing? Like, the more you put your focus on yourself, because in the dating world, right, you hear coaches say, like, especially with women, like, put yourself first. You are the prize, all of those different things. And you cannot be the prize if you're still identifying with your human form. You cannot even be the priority when you are identifying with your human form. You can't even, like, show up as the priority with your specific person. If your focus is always on them and identifying with the human form, like, wait, oh my gosh. Can you still manifest what you want when you have CP? Okay, so you have CPTSD as the human form. As God, you don't have CPTSD. Jesus, that sounds so long to say. But yeah, because I used to identify as someone who had CPTSD, okay? And I constantly felt like something was wrong with me, constantly felt like I was trying to fix myself. Especially when I started learning about CPTSD, more and more of that was showing up in my awareness. This is what causes CPTSD, right? I don't even identify with that because I am God. I am source. And from here, everything is perfect. A past don't exist. Okay, some people don't realize knowing is a choice. You don't have to feel, choose. Yeah, exactly. The only things that you can experience in your reality is what you place your awareness on as truth. Exactly. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the likes. Should I text him first? Even if I don't know what to say, don't even text him if you like are trying to figure out what to say. Don't text. This is like, what should I say to get their attention? You know what I'm saying? Like, the mind is sneaky like that. Okay, wait. When manifesting money, do you just affirm you have it or affirm now? First things first, I am God. I am source. That means I am the source of money. Okay. So, now that I know that I'm the source of money, like, okay, as God, because if you are affirming for money, right, your ego, your human character is going to show up and say, but remember when this happened? But you have money blocks in your subconscious mind and all of these different things, right? All these stories around money show up. And people try to say affirmation. They try to like, no, whatever. No, you have to, first things first, know that you are God. So you don't have any money blocks, no negative money stories that don't exist here. Okay. So from here, and like knowing that you are God, because everything is perfect, manifesting money is easy from here. And if you're just noticing stories showing up like, but what if you don't get this money, right? Just ask yourself, how would I perceive that story as God? And 9 times out of 10, the answer will show up. And if you're noticing your awareness, where like the stories it's leading you to, observe and return back. How would I perceive that story? How would I interpret that story as source? Hey girl, hey Stassi. Is that how you say it? You have to focus on yourself and take them off the pedestal. Yeah. The KS. What does the KS mean? I sat with my father yesterday and he apologized. Hadn't seen him in 16 years. Embody, I am this. What? Oh my God. I love that. I love that. Oh my gosh. Because I had like my human character had father issues. But once I remembered myself as source, our relationship changed. And this is what I mean, or not what I mean, but what my specific Person Secrets Masterclass is. It talks about all of this, literally. Was there something in particular you manifested that confirmed being source work? It's every day. I can't really go into detail exactly. It's literally every single day. I'm trying to see. Because I think you asked me something like that, like, where's the proof? I know you're trying to get some proof. Like, well, are you, you know what I'm saying? I feel like you're trying to get proof. I sense that. Like, is what she's saying for real? Is what she's saying for real? Like, how, you know? Same with my father and my whole family. Actually, yes, we all get along now. Yes. I love that. That literally, that's what happened with me and my entire family as well. Once I just stopped identifying with the character, it was just like my relationships got better. So, specific person, my masterclass doesn't just apply to romantic relationship or romance. It applies to like every relationship that you experience. Okay. Do you choose I am God daily or is it on autopilot now? It's something that I choose daily. Like, that's who I consciously live as that. That's why I said the questions. It's the questions that'll keep you there. I'm still deconstructing Christianity. That's probably why my apologies, no offense intended. I get it. I understand. You're looking for proof, right? But test and see that the Lord is real. Test and see that the Lord is real. Test and see that you are real. I'm not just sharing this information just to like talk. I live this. Okay. The people in my container experienced differently once they started claiming themselves as source. Do you have days that you spiral and forget your source? As of lately, no. No. Because as soon as I open my eyes in the morning, as soon as I wake up, I am source. I am all that is. But yeah, here's the thing. I don't identify with spiraling. Okay. So I notice my mind wanting to go there, but I just observe the stories, and then how would I perceive those stories as source? And then I drop back into being God, being source. I drop back there. Okay. So, and then if my human character is trying to bring something else up, I observe it. How would I perceive that as source? I'm going to keep saying that because I don't give techniques, you guys. Do you have doubts? Did you have doubts and still manifested? Yes. I know. Yeah. You can. Okay. It's just your human character. Just notice the doubt. Notice the doubt. Notice it. What are the stories you're telling yourself? Write it down. Okay. Write down the stories if you need to. Say it out loud. Excuse me. I know I say it out loud. Like, I'm noticing my character saying these stories. And then how would I perceive them as God? Because doubt it doesn't mean anything from the perspective of being God. The proof is your choice to know. Doubts can exist, but don't override your choice. Exactly. Please upload this live to YouTube. I need to watch this back to fully understand everything. Okay. Yeah. I guess that's going to be my video I upload this week. Is being busy the best way not to spiral in my work? No. Because you can still be busy and still like... I used to do this a lot. Okay. I used to like... Clearly that was called abandoning myself. Okay. But what I used to do is like, oh, I'm spiraling right now. Let me go hang out with my friends. I'm spiraling. Let me go try to do something different, right? But I would still be identifying with the stories my mind was leading me to. No matter how much I tried to distract myself. And then now I don't abandon myself. I just notice the stories and say, okay, how would I perceive that as source? How would I perceive that as God? Okay. So a spiral is nothing but stories that you are consistently telling yourself, right? And the fear, the emotions are symptoms of the stories, of your imaginal acts that you are engaging in without even realizing it. Okay. And so your only job here is to just be aware. And then remember yourself as God. I am source. I am all that is. How would I perceive that story as source? I just wanted to ask you what happens when we die, and I answered it. I'm God. I can't die. Oh my God. Y'all, outer body experiences will literally show you. It shows you. I was literally having this conversation not too long ago. Okay. with an outer body experience, when you astral travel, you still exist. You're out of your body, but you know you still exist. You know that you are someone. You know, like, I am, right? You don't see your body, but you know that you exist. That's what death seems like to me, you know? Like, yeah, you, and not even seem like that's who you are beyond this physical character. You imagine yourself to be something. You imagine yourself to be something. You are source imagining itself to be something. So you're perfect. Oh my God, you were created perfectly. We're all created perfectly. Maybe I need to manifest a day job. I used to think that too, girl, when I was trying to like distract myself from things. And yeah, it's still, I was still identifying as the same person, as the limited human form. So a job didn't fix anything. Yeah, sometimes I do that, but lately I haven't really been busy either. Yeah, girl, you speaking facts. Thank you, girl. I appreciate it. You're welcome. Just say, I am God, I am source. Just claim it and move on with your day. Yeah. Again, you have to, thanks everyone. You have to, this is something that you embody. Embodiment is being. Okay? Embodiment is being. It's the way you express yourself. Okay? So how do you start embodying a different version of yourself? How do you start embodying being God? You not just like, it's enough to claim yourself as God, but also it's very important that you are aware of the stories you're telling yourself as God. But also it's very important that you are aware of the stories you're telling yourself and perceive as God, right? Move through your day as God. How would I move through my day knowing that I am God? Just notice the words that come up. Notice the words. Notice the feeling that comes up. Okay? How would I, and this is a bonus question from my specific person, Secrets Masterclass. Okay? This is a question in there. I've shared like 2 questions from my masterclass, you guys. What would it be like? Oh my gosh, I lost it that fast. What was I talking about? What would it be like to experience satisfaction and fulfillment in my day as source, right? And just notice what comes up. And then you just like, you immediately start to embody that, because that's where your awareness went. That's where your consciousness went. And you start to embody that. You start to experience that state of being, right? If you want to experience satisfaction and fulfillment in your day, and you will be expressing that so much that by the end of the day, you're like, oh my gosh, I was literally in that state all day. And I didn't have to like anxiously watch myself. It's just who I became. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, okay? Can you manifest someone to be emotionally available? Yeah, but it's not about manifesting them to be emotionally available. I was talking about this earlier in my life, okay? When we experience other people not being emotionally available to us, it's because we're not being that way to ourselves. And what I mean by that is honoring ourselves as God. I'm not saying from the limited human form, but honoring yourself as God. You are God. Honor yourself. Remember that. Remember that's who you are, right? Stop identifying with the human character. Remember you are God. That is who you are longing for, to be emotionally available to you. You're longing for you. We are all longing for ourselves, right? When we're longing for other people to be a specific way with us, we're just desiring ourselves. We're desiring to be a new person, in a different state of being. Jesus. Let me know if you guys have any more questions. I literally said I'm gonna be on here for like I need to turn on this car. I'm gonna be on here for like a little bit. Yeah, I've manifested my SP. He's contacted me 3 times after 1 month of no contact, but he's still very avoidant, right? Okay, so there's a story you're not aware of that you're constantly telling yourself, and you're attached to those stories. You're attached to the identity, right? What are the stories that show up? Because we're focused on the SP's avoidant behavior, but we need to focus on who we are being, right? Who am I being to even continue interacting with someone who's, you know what I'm saying, who is not treating me the way that I want to be treated? Post this in YouTube, please. Okay, you're the second person to say that. I'm going to post it in YouTube. That's going to be my upload for this week. Hold on, you guys. Let me turn on the car. I'm not sure if it's like who I was being 2 weeks ago versus the last few days. I've been working on my identity. You've been working on your identity. What are the stories you've been like telling yourself, and you're like, you've probably been trying affirmation or something. Like you've probably been trying affirmation or something. Oh, because this is what I noticed. Like, because this is what I noticed. Like, we can say like, oh, they just started acting weird out of nowhere, right? That'll happen. And it's like, oh, but I was affirming and I was scripting and I was imagining us together, right? But a lot of people don't realize that they aren't aware of those little sneaky stories that were showing up. Like, you're not good enough. You're not enough. They don't want you, you know? Those are the stories that we have to be aware of. How do I manifest cutting someone off permanently? I'm great at this, okay? No longer talking to this person. You're God. What you say goes in your reality. So if you don't want to talk to anyone anymore, you don't have to. Let me see. Okay, so it's like 6 o'clock. Oh yeah, I've been trying to work on filtering those stories out, like literally the last 2 days. Yeah. Okay, so just notice those stories. Don't try to fix them. Just notice them. Observe them. Then ask yourself, how would I interpret those stories as source? Let me know what comes up in your awareness when you ask yourself that. And I'm talking to you, Mick. Mick, is that how you say it? They keep coming to my house. They do not live here. Is this like an SP? Well, clearly everyone's an SP. Do you ever feel no real urges, no yearnings to get anything, just being, existing? I notice it, but I don't attach to it. I can observe it, like, oh, that's my character wanting, I don't even want to say yearning. I guess that's what you can call it. I can just notice it, and then I don't do anything about it. I just watch it, and then it's like, oh, okay. How would I? But I don't really. I already have everything, so I don't. And then it's like, oh, okay. How would I? But I don't really. I already have everything, so I don't really. I'm just, yeah, like you said, being and existing. If I say I'm a girlfriend, but the 3D shows me something else, what else do I have to change? You can be okay, so this is something that I learned from like one of my mentors. You can be a girlfriend. You can be a wife. You can already be those things, right? Are you really just looking to be a girlfriend or a wife? Because you can be an unhappy wife, you can be an unhappy girlfriend, you can be a girlfriend or a wife who's not chosen, who's not cherished, right? What you want is to experience yourself. You want to experience what would it be like to be chosen, adored, respected, valued, revered, claimed in your ideal relationship. So focus as source. So focus there. When you're attached to the human character, of course you're always looking in the 3D, right? But once you start identifying as God, you don't really care. Okay? I would say focus your awareness. Focus on what it's like to be whatever it is that you want to experience in your ideal relationship as source, because we are source expressing to be whatever it is that you want to experience in your ideal relationship as source, because we are source expressing our no, a family member. Don't answer the okay. I really can't. What would it be like to no longer hear from them? And the state will lead. Whatever it is that you need to do. If you need to curse them out, the state will lead. But we don't want anyone interrupting your peace. But you, like, your decisions will come from there. Like, they no longer show up at my home. Or if you have to tell them. If you ignore, like, it'll just show up. Hi, Ismail. Questions collapse because from God, you're perfect and no longer need anything since you are everything. Exactly. How would I go about attaining material things? Wait, something's going on with my live, y'all. How would I go about attaining material things like purses and watches, but I don't want to do anything? Girl, just decide. That's what you have now, right? And if the stories come up, if you're a human character story, but how will you afford it? How will you do this? It doesn't matter. How would I perceive that story as God? 9 times out of 10. Okay, so anything I want to find me. Yeah. I want a Van Cleef, okay? I want a Van Cleef. Now, it's like $5,000. And I'm like, oh, but I don't have $5,000 to spend on a Van Cleef, okay? That's what my human character tells me. Okay, so what? As source, I interpreted that story as different. Like, oh, I do have I have the Van Cleef now. I have a Van Cleef now. I have it now. So that's how that looks, right? And you never know, like, it'll show up through gifts. Like, plenty of times I've said I wanted something and it just appeared through other people. I didn't have to do anything to get it. Best advice to manifest my ex-girlfriend back. I've been trying for 2 years, bro. Y'all, I'm tired of talking. I'm actually tired of talking, you guys. Because I've been explaining the same thing on my live. I'm gonna upload this to YouTube, but my advice is to focus on yourself as God. And I'm not trying to be mean, but focus on yourself as God. Remember yourself as source. And it's not your SP that you want. It's not your ex that you want. Like, yeah, you say you want them from your human perspective, but what you are desiring is yourself. And what would it feel like? Well, not feel, but what would it be like to experience your ideal relationship as source? That's what you're truly after. Yeah, that's what you're truly after. You're after yourself. What would it be like to be cherished in my ideal relationship as source? So if you were coming to me and you wanted to manifest an SP, you got coaching with me, I'm not going to be like, this is what you're going to... We are going to first work on standing in your identity as God. Then we will move through the SP that you want, because there will be more than one SP to show up as well. There will be more than one SP to show up, because once you start standing in your identity as God, you automatically become someone that's irresistible, that people want to be with, that others desire. You will become that person. Once you stand in your identity as God, but just observe the human character and stop attaching to it. Okay? Stand in your identity as God. If you came to me and you coach with me, I'm going to always place your focus back to you. Bring your focus back to you. Then we will move it to a SP when it feels good. Or not even when it feels good, but once you're like, I'm grounded in my identity as God. You guys, I'm going to leave now because I'm going to the store to get some ice cream. I want ice cream, you guys. So I'm going to the store to get me some ice cream, and even though it's like the temperature is dropping, I don't care. I want ice cream. So that's what I'm about to go do. Thank you guys for joining this live. I love you all so much. If you want to work with me, link is in my bio. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. The link is also in my bio. Check out my new SP, or Specific Person Secrets Masterclass. And it's a 60-minute container on how to manifest love as source. And you won't just learn about manifesting romantic love. You will learn how to become love. You will learn how to become love. You will learn how to stand in your identity as source, okay? And you're just gonna manifest better relationships once you check out my masterclass, okay? And what else? That is it. That is all. I love you guys, and I will see you guys in the next live. Bye.